Good morning and thank you for tuning in to Pan-African Television. This is the newspaper review segment on Good Morning Africa. We are live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. You're also live on YouTube at Pan-African Television. You can connect with us on 0260846539, 0260846539. Let me say a very big thank you to the news team for bringing you the early morning news. Unfortunately, today the good didn't come your way, but this is Good Morning Africa, and we'll be discussing the stories that made it to the front pages of our various newspapers. And today I'll take you through the topics that are going to be discussed on the program. But let me remind you also that I'm sitting in for my brother Kwame Osodanso, who is equally attending to a very important assignment. These are the topics for this morning. Mali coup, UN joins global condemnation of military takeover. Daily graphic story on page 5. Akufo-Addo rolling back Ghana's freedom. Manasseh Azori, the story captured in the Insight newspaper story on page 3. Let's debate infrastructure record. Mahama challenges Akufo-Addo, Daily Heritage story on page 3. And government sudden interest in infrastructure surprising and deceptive, says former President John Dramani Mahama. Well, the debate challenge, it looks like Bakusro, one is running away from the debate. We'll be discussing that on the show this morning. I'm joined in the studio by Chairman Bernard Mona, who is the national chairman of the PNC, and also Adam Sabo, a member of the New Patriotic Party communications team. We are expected to be joined in the studio.
You normally forget of my former position. In politics, it's very important.
All right, okay. You are, I think, former Greater Accra Regional Secretary.
Exactly.
No. Vanquished Greater Accra. You don't know how to do that. Vanquished.
Well, it says Chairman Bernard Mona, we are expecting Honorable ABF Hussein, member of Parliament for Sagnarego, to join us in the studio. As and when he joins us, he'll be part of the panel. But I'll start with you, Chairman, on the African story. Mali coup, UN joins global condemnation of military takeover.
First, let me salute you for the good job that you are doing.
Thank you.
And Adam Sabo and the perpetual latecomer, Alhaji ABF Hussein. I'm here to see the day that he will come before us. But I can also appreciate the fact that the pressure probably is much more on him than any one of us, particularly being a sitting member of Parliament.
Very well.
Even those of us who have not yet climbed there, you wake up at 3 a.m. and the calls have started coming.
Sometimes by 2021, you are already in Parliament.
How to drop the phone to be able to do other engagements is a challenge. Yeah. Let me also send tons of appreciation once again to constituents of the Nadoli-Kaleo constituency for keeping fit and knowing that it is just about 7th December and that they will do the honorable thing.
Very well.
I want to thank the chiefs who constantly call me to continuously encourage me to have the patience and that my time is coming. And so I want to thank all of them. Finally, to the National Executive Committee of the PNC, that members of our party in this COVID-19 era will take the trouble to meet and travel all the way from their various regions, some 13 hours, to meet in Accra on Tuesday to take decisions on the forward march of our party. I'm encouraging all the regional executives of our party to ensure that we are able to do our regional conferences by the 5th of September.
5th.
And that will lead us to the National Delegates Congress on the 19th of September. And that will mean that we'll just have about 2 weeks to get prepared for the Electoral Commission's own timetable because they are coming in the first, second week of October with the timetable for presidential and parliamentary elections. And so we are late, but I can assure you that is better late than never.
Is the PNC well positioned to win any seat in the upcoming elections apart from the one I know, that Dole you win?
Oh, beyond the Nadoli-Kaleu constituency, there are many seats, and indeed, what is astonishing is that the regions that came for the NEC, for instance, decided that they were going to concentrate on 3 constituencies in their home regions. They are not going to, they will have candidates in all the other constituencies, but they will concentrate on 3 constituencies and put enormous pressure, ensure that they concentrate their campaign largely on 3 constituencies in each of the regions. In other regions, you can make exceptions where you can concentrate on about 4 or 5, but this was the position of the National Executive Committee of our party, that in each region concentrate to win 3 seats. And so if you multiply 3 by 16, you know what we are going to get in Parliament. So I think that it was a good suggestion by the regional chairman and their secretaries, and the party will look at how we will be able to fix and support them materially so that they'll be able to achieve that. If we are able to do that, then it means that the PNC has taken a giant leap into election 2020.
Very well.
You are asking us to discuss one of the notorious subjects of military takeovers in Africa. First and foremost, as a Democrat and a consummate one as that, I think that it is condemnable what took place in Mali. It is not within the space of our democratic experiment that we should continuously entertain the military in their adventurism in our body politics. The military has their role to play. They are supposed to defend the territorial integrity of our countries, if I want to call them so. I think that these are artificial boundaries that we have created. But that is the main mandate of the military, to defend the territorial integrity of our countries. Beyond that, I think that it is also important to look at the military performing critical role and providing critical services at emergencies. For instance, anytime there is an emergency, you notice that the military is called upon to come and remedy the situation. When there is flood, it is the military. When we have to rely on the expertise of the military, the Navy, the Air Force, to be able to combat certain situations that the ordinary person or employee could not attend to. NADMO, particularly when there are disaster situations, will normally need the services and input of the military to be able to contain such situations. And sometimes when internal rioting is getting out of hand and the police is unable to contain it, the military is called upon so that they will be able to quell the situation and return the society into normalcy. So these functions of the military must not necessarily give them an extra mile into taking over. But there were, the signs were clear in Mali. I don't know whether any one of them of you saw it. As a member of the Pan-African Federalist Movement, whose headquarters is supposed to be established in Mali, and you know that on a couple of occasions, I have driven from Ghana through Burkina Faso, Bobo-Dioulasso, and gone through the Faramana area and entered Bamako. So I go to Mali almost frequently so that we'll be able to formulate the ideals of Pan-Africanism. And when you get to Mali, in fact, sometimes when I drive through Mali, then the people are asking me, did you come through that part? I said, yes, I did. They are surprised because it is supposed to be one of the hotbeds where rebel attacks and others. But we drive, my team, we drive, and we don't carry any weapon or whatsoever. We just drive because if you have to carry weapon from Ghana into another country, the procedure is much cumbersome than if I'm carrying my weapon even in a flight from Accra to Tamale. And so we just drive, giving our lives to God. And we have gone through this place. My team will tell you, sometimes we get to Bamako around 3 a.m. It means that we've been driving throughout. We set off Accra, and we use about 20 hours driving to Mali. You understand? So sometimes my driver gets fatigued and I have to take over, and then we continue the journey, and then when he's back in action, then we continue. We use 20 hours normally to go. And at the end of the day, you notice that situation in Mali was not good. There was decay in the economic environment of Mali after President Toumani Sani was overthrown by the government, and then they returned the country into normal democracy. Again, you will notice that it appears that the Yentio Obia syndrome. I don't care. I have been given presidential mandate. I have a term to run. And therefore, no other person can tell me what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
Incense the people of Mali. Because you must know that even as we are in a democracy, not 100% of the people voted for you.
True.
And that part of the people that did not vote for you are still citizens of your country, who must also enjoy or suffer the consequences of your rule. Okay? So you will not say that because I have been voted, and I think that largely it is my party members and my clan members that voted for me. That means that all other persons and their opinions, permit my language, a shit. And so when people are giving decent advice and you rubbish them, a certain level of pomposity, arrogance, you know, arrogance of power, people want to feel that, yes, you know that it doesn't sit well. It didn't take long in Mali when during their, what do we call, their deputy elections, the opposition leader, Sisi, on a campaign tour, was kidnapped. He got vanished. He got vanished until after the elections. He went from one community, did campaign, and in between the community to the next rally that he was supposed to attend, he got missing. So you can imagine what happened then. Because he also have supporters. And whether you like it or not, even in the security agencies, he would have family members who will not take kindly that their relative is gone missing, and they have clear signal that it is the government of the day that is responsible for it. All these things fomented the tension in Mali. And above all, this thing about Libya and the Tuareg rebels, you know, Gaddafi used to contain them. After Gaddafi was overthrown and butchered in the manner he was butchered, the Tuareg rebels that Gaddafi used to contain now had nothing to do. They have nobody to attend to them. All of them started descending. And they also created a lot of confusion and continue to create confusion because they are holding the northern part of Mali hostage. So if you have such insecurity and the military wants to act and the government is playing pussyfooty with it, you know that it will cause crisis. So I kept telling my friends in Mali that, look, your country situation, my country situation is not good, but yours is in a different level.
That's true.
And when you tell them, some of them will agree with you. And just when the coup happened, I was somewhere attending a program, and then it was my friends from Mali who started calling me and said, Prophet. That's how they started calling me. Prophet, the things you said, they have happened. I said, what? Because I was attending a NEC meeting. That was Tuesday. And then I was sharing the name. So they were calling and I couldn't pick. They sent messages and then, Prophet, your words have come true. The government has been deposed. They have arrested the president. Nobody knows where the president is. The prime minister has been taken off. Senior military men have been taken off. I said, yes. When we speak, we monitor the environment before we make comments. But you see, all these things are happening because of the perfidy of Africans. It was Modibo Keita, Sekou Touré, and Kwame Nkrumah who formed the Guinea-Ghana Union. You remember? To set up the basis upon which Africa could unite.
Very well.
Mali took inspiration from Kwame Nkrumah when we got our independence, and Mali developed their own currency. Modibo Keita did that. Later, France will come, as a result of that, imprison Modibo Keita for about 10 years without trial, and eventually he died in prison. They will not even hand over his body. You know where they went and buried him? They went and buried him in the, what I call the common cemetery in Mali. So if you go to Mali and you are looking for Modibo Keita's grave, you have to go to the common cemetery where everybody is buried. That is where you find Modibo Keita. At the end of all this, Mali has to subject itself to the dictates of France like every other African country. So when you have a government that begins to oppose the ideas of France, that governments become a threat. And whatever it takes for Mali or for France to ensure that they kick you in the ass, they will do so. And I think that in spite of all the things that I have said, this is one of such classic situations. You have to pander to the dictates of France, or will incite your own people, support them, fund them, and then they will kick you out. And that is what they have suffered. So my candid opinion is that Africa must learn our own history, write our own story, take advantage of the situation and move as a collective and not as individuals. You see, within the ECOWAS zone, we have some protocols that have worked.
True.
And I'm watching to see what ECOWAS will do in the case of Mali. You recall in the case of Cote d'Ivoire with Alassane Ouattara, ECOWAS stepped in fully and asked Laurent Gbagbo to go and allow Alassane Ouattara to come. In the case of the Gambia, when we saw that Yahya Jammeh did not want to go, ECOWAS stepped in. In fact, they took in their jet fighters into Gambia to allow Yahya Jammeh to exit power.
Yeah.
In the case of the overthrow of President Kafando of Burkina Faso after this man left, Blaise Compaoré left, it took ECOWAS to go and foil and tell. In fact, it was President Muhammad Buhari and others asked to go and tell them that they gave the military less than 48 hours to hand over power to President Kafando. Yeah. Otherwise, they will step in. I'm waiting to see what ECOWAS will do in the case of Mali. Whether they will give the military that has overtaken or taken over from President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta the same ultimatum to hand over power, or the wrath of ECOWAS will be invoked so that ECOWAS will take action. If they don't, it means that coup d'etats are now to occasion in the sub-region. If they fail to contain the situation as they did in Burkina Faso, as they did in Cote d'Ivoire, as they did in the Gambia, and they allow this military takeover to succeed, I can assure you that it will become the light that will inflame the rest of the continent.
All right, thank you so much, man, for your submission. Sabo.
Yes, Justice, let me take this opportunity to say good morning to our cherished viewers.
All right.
Good morning to my brother, Bernard Mona.
But I didn't commend you that today you put on your hat, signifying that you are a royal.
In fact,
A very beautiful one at that.
you were actually the one who inspired me. I thought of you and thought of the house.
Tell Kwesi Pratt, you know he's been a skinny chief in Gabon.
Yes, I'm aware.
And anytime he's wearing smock, he doesn't put on. One day we will remove his sandals.
and my regards to my elder brother, wherever he is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring him in peace. Yourself, Justice, your crew, and then Kwame, wherever he is.
All right.
My boss also just came in and then greeted me and left. Kwesi Pratt.
Very well.
My regards to him too.
All right.
Justice, today, by the grace of God, tomorrow by this time, we'll be launching our manifesto.
Okay.
And then to bring to bear before Ghanaians what we intend to do in the next 4 years, inshallah, when we are re-elected. And as the account proverb, that agrobeswa efrianapa. So I don't need, we will have difficulties telling Ghanaians or convincing Ghanaians what we are to do in the next 4 years.
Okay.
Yes, and I wish the committee and those who are invited to launch this, what do you call it, a manifesto, the very best of luck.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, when my brother Benamona was actually making his submissions, I tried to look at the replicate effect or the implications or the tendency of this particular issue in Mali maybe spreading to other African countries.
Okay.
I think last week here we discussed about the Cote d'Ivoire issue, and I brought Mali in focus. That, in fact, even it shouldn't be just La Cote d'Ivoire. There are other countries who are also having this kind of issues. But it's just that they are undercurrent. And if care is not taken, they will also explode, just like the way Mali because last week we never thought that it would get to this stage.
That's true.
But we talked about it. If you very good. So, just by way of making the viewers know how the situation is like, Mali share boundary with Libya, Niger. They share boundary with Burkina Faso. They share boundary with Mauritania, Guinea, and then they also share boundary with Senegal and La Côte d'Ivoire. So you can imagine the strategic position of Mali in Africa.
Yeah.
Some of these countries that I have mentioned, majority of them are in West Africa. Some of them are not in West Africa. Some are in North Africa and what have you. So you also agree with me, when there's conflict in a country, mostly the containment of that particular conflict is not only the country that is affected, but the neighboring countries. In terms of infiltration of weapons, in terms of human flight, in terms of outbreak of diseases and other things, all these things comes into effect. So sometimes there are some countries, due to their strategic positions, when they are having issues, you don't just look at them as a country, but you look at the replicate effects that it will have on Africa. Because this, and you agree with, conflict is sometimes is more or less like a chain effect. When it enters into any of these countries, don't forget La Côte d'Ivoire also share boundary with us.
Yeah.
So directly from La Côte d'Ivoire, it can move to Ghana.
Burkina Faso.
Yes, yes. So we have two. It can either pass through Burkina Faso or La Côte d'Ivoire.
Very well.
So it is an issue that we need not to sit down. I have always said this. And then quite apart from that too, I'm also tempted to also take on ECOWAS again in this particular regards. I don't know, like we've been saying, they wait until it gets to where it has gotten to. Although I remember there was some attempts by ECOWAS, of which Nana Akufo-Addo was part of the team, who went to meet them, and it's like the government rather didn't listen to some of the suggestions that were put in place, and then and continue with that. But nonetheless, I'm of the view that it is high time ECOWAS sat down to see how best they can always protect a certain president, regardless of the situation. Because once the person was democratically elected, it means that the country has its laws as to how to move such a person from office. And regardless of the situation, we must adhere to those who lay down procedures. Because if we should allow it to continue like the way it has happened in La Côte d'Ivoire, I don't think today if there's any African country that you enter and ask the opposition and they will tell that they are happy with the government. In every country, people have issues with the government. But because for the respect for the rule of law, they normally allow things to go as expected of them. So there's no any excuse for you to say that it is as a result of what the government did, that is why they resorted to arms. Even in the United States of America, the opposition will tell you that they are not happy with the government. Is that not it? But have they resorted to arms and conflict?
Not at all.
Yes. So I think maybe as a regional body, they can sit down and then come out with some kind of pragmatic measure that will also not infringe on the sovereignty of the individual countries, but will go a long way to protect the citizenry of that particular country and the democratic dispensations of, what they call it, those countries. Quite apart from that, too, I am also tempted to believe or to have in view that something drastic should be done about the Côte d'Ivoire situation.
Very well.
Because if care is not taken, sometimes these kind of things, we know much about South African and what they call independence struggle. Normally, most of the training were not done in South Africa. Most of the ANC military training and other things, most of them were done in Zimbabwe and other neighboring countries. And anytime there's a situation, they quickly move out. If there's, anybody is put on wanted list, they have their own rules and the rest. So I will not be surprised if maybe Mali has a secret camp. And don't forget the northern part of Mali. Ivory Coast. Most of them are this of Mali. It's just that they were there before independence.
Very well.
Yes, but most of them, they have their cousins, their relations in Mali, and they can move into Mali at any time and move. Just like what do you call it, Volta region and then Togo. I said, of course, you can see a brother here and a sister on the other hand. So it is easy for them to just move into Cote d'Ivoire with this conflict.
Okay.
And then continue. And don't forget, the Mali one, like you were saying, the Tuaregs, I said it last week here. The Tuareg, in fact, for ever since they came from Libya, they have been trying to get their own independence. If you observe, though, according to that, they were the first descendant or something of that sort, but the blacks have outnumbered them. But they've always tried to resist the black rule. Like always feel like they are the real people of Mali and the rest. And I strongly believe that this opposition are helped by these Tuaregs, because France, if you observe, France, as we speak today, is not all that what they call in good terms with the Tuaregs, based on their stand. Because France was the same, this and that also led the charge in Libya, and then they fought against France in Libya. So France already has its eyes on them. So I believe there's a need for West Africa, ECOWAS, to do something about this. If not, and then it tends to be tribal, then it will be blown out of proportion. And that is why I'm bringing Cote d'Ivoire. If you look at the Cote d'Ivoire one too, it is more or less ethnic. And it is ethnocentric, and religious fanaticism is also in it. The Cote d'Ivoire one, if you look at the line that it took. So if care is not taken and it enters into Cote d'Ivoire too, it may go beyond the solution that we could have been able to provide as at now. And it will become a very big issue. And when it gets to that point, like I said, they have their cousins in Mali and the rest, that it will not be only contained in Cote d'Ivoire, but it will spread to other neighboring countries. And just like the southern part of Cote d'Ivoire too, they also have their cousins in Hafasine, the what do you call it? What the district? I've forgotten. The Elembele district. No. Oh, there's a popular name for it. Yes, so it can enter.
I've actually forgotten.
Yes. In fact, it's some common name. Elembele Hafasine. No, not Elibo.
It's not Elibo.
Not Elibo. You know that the district name. It's a very common name, be like that. So it can spread, because those people, most of them, they have their relatives in Cote d'Ivoire and other things. Don't forget even the popular musicians. Some Ghanaians are even saying that. I mean, he's that Maui, or how do they call him? Mewi. You know, he speaks in Zima and the rest. And people are even of the view that he's a Ghanaian and what have you. So all these things we need to be very careful and then see how best we can address the situation. And I'll end again by using the same proverb that I said the other time, that when the beard, if you have beard and your friend also has beard and his is burning, then you must get water closer to you or start shaving yours.
But yours should even be in the water.
I'm happy you've agreed. And quite apart from that, his region, when you go to Hamle area too, there are the same people that you can find.
From Hamle, Fielemo, Gulu, all the way to Tumu. You know, we have what we call Leo.
Yeah.
It shares boundary with the...
Up to Bono half region.
All the way to Bongo.
Exactly.
And then you can traverse all the way to Baku. So from that terrain, you just walk. In fact, when you get to Hamle and you are not careful, you can't get Ghana network.
Okay.
If you go to Namvili, there is a community called Zupri. At Zupri, you don't get Ghana network. You rather get Togo network. You get Togo FMs and what have you. When you cross the river, you are eating Burkinabe food. And they will come from the Burkina side to come and drink Daga Bapito and then go back.
Wow.
So now I believe you now get a picture that I'm trying to paint. And the district is Jomoro. The district, yes. So we should be very careful and we should take it as our project as a nation to see how best we can help Mali and La Cote d'Ivoire to resolve their differences. All
right, thank you so much, Sabo, for your submission. Viewers, you are still watching Good Morning Africa right here on Pan-African Television. We are live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. We are also streaming live on YouTube at Pan-African Television. Keep your messages coming in on 026084 6539, 026084 6539. Now, let me go and sell. I'll be right back. We're going for a short commercial break.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day. Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back. You're still watching the newspaper review segment on Good Morning Africa right here on Pan-African Television. We shall continue with the topics tabled out for discussion on the show this morning, and this time around I'll start with you, Sabo. Akufo-Addo rolling back Ghana's press freedom, says Manasseh Azuri. Story captured on page 3 of the Inside newspaper.
Yes, Manasseh Azuri. One, he's a Ghanaian. 2, he's a journalist.
Okay.
And he has his own opinion. And don't forget, we are in a democratic era.
Okay.
And I don't think it's criminal for you to express your opinion within the context of the law.
Okay.
It is left with the power that be to put it to test. To see how efficacious whatever you have brought out is to the system. So with regards to that, of course, I would say that it is an issue, it's a challenge that he has thrown to the government. However, in every situation, there is always a cause. Just like in conflict, we have remote cause and we have immediate cause.
Okay.
So I will be very happy if Manasseh Azuri, I have not actually gone to the story. I know definitely he will not just say it in vague. He might have gone to list.
So for the sake of our viewers, let me just read a few paragraphs for us. The story captured on page 3 of the Inside newspaper says, ex-investigative freelance journalist Manasseh Azuri has descended on President Dankwa Akufo-Addo over the current deteriorating state of press freedom in the country. According to the former multimedia broadcaster, it is worrying that under the watch and leadership of President Akufo-Addo, who has been touted as a human rights advocate, there have been unprecedented violations and abuses of human rights in his tenure as president. Manasseh Azuri told a virtual public forum organized by the Center for Social Democracy Ghana, CSD Ghana, in partnership with the Frederick Albert Stifteng in Accra on Wednesday, which examined the state of freedom of expression and media freedom in Ghana, that he does not feel safe in Ghana anymore and now shies away from telling friends abroad about the Ghana situation with regards to press freedom. He said, media freedom report compiled by Journalists Without Borders has regrettably cast Ghana in a bad light under the leadership of President Akufo-Addo. The broadcaster noted that the media freedom that was enjoyed in Ghana a few years ago have all been eroded as the Akufo-Addo administration keeps rolling back press freedom in Ghana.
Justice, I was expecting some kind of maybe catalog of issues that he would have brought up.
Okay. He's a journalist. He says he feels...
No, but what he's saying, I'm not a journalist. I can also say the same thing. If you go to meet somebody in the forest, he can tell you the same story that he's saying.
You and I know the problems.
No, what I mean is that what you have read, any ordinary person can also say something like that. I thought maybe he was going to be professional, technical, and then actually come out with certain issues based on this, on that, and that. That is why he's saying that Nana Akufo-Addo is suppressing press freedom. But he's just lamenting his old views and other things. I've not heard anything concrete. Quite apart from that, I wanted him to have said that this media house A has been shut down based on press freedom, this and this and this and this and that, without the rule of law being applied. Or journalist B has been arrested and imprisoned because of this and this and this and that.
We've seen journalists killed in this country. We've seen journalists beaten in this country. Let me come.
After beating there, we've seen journalists slapped, their things destroyed in this country. Even at the seat of presidency. We've seen those things here. But my question is that you are a citizen, I'm a citizen. And I know what you are going for. Me, you see, when I normally talk about those things, I get emotional not because of the politics of it, but because of the family issue. Somebody's husband, somebody's son, that the person has lost painfully, and you keep on reminding them of their pains just for your own political gains.
Justice must be served.
Justice, that is it. What have you done? The families of those people are calling for justice. And if you know the killers, why not help them to stop their pains than to be reminding them every day of the pain without doing anything, just to get a feed on that? That is what people do. Yes, I'm a soulless death. I've said it here several times. I'll be the happiest person because it could be me. Because if those people are left on the loose, they will come after you. They will come after me. So why is it that if you have knowledge about them, you only say that? I mean, if you know the killers, why are you insinuating? Why not just go straight to the point and say that this is the contractor and these are the killers? Or at least I know the contractor, but I don't know the killers. So that we can start it from there. You've come out with so funny stories about this particular issue. Where did they end?
But if you say
it's just the same way you play with the death of Yana in this country for so many years.
But if you say Manasseh has
why are we like that? No, you see,
with just a story. You know the issue of Manasseh when he covered the security issue at the
was it a security issue? I sat here and told you. Was he able to come
ran for his life because he was being threatened to be killed. Listen. And all of that after that particular.
No, who threatened him? Who threatened him? Who? Tell me the one who threatened him.
Well, Manasseh, according to
is that the same cock and bull story that you have just read out?
You think that is a cock and bull story?
My brother. No, you see, we've gone past this kind of stage. We've gone past this kind of sentimentality and the rest. If you are actually going to take this country serious and take the citizens of this country serious, bring out issues that everybody can move along with the issue. And at least, even if you are hitting at me, I will accept it in good faith because I know that indeed society will not even be happy with me if I should fight back and the rest. But you come out with issues that will even rather aggravate the pain of the victim. And issues are normally brought up to ease the pain of the one that is affected. But most often than not, this kind of issues that Manasseh Azora has brought, it should have just gone straight to the point and say that, or just oppose the previous government to this government and tell us how journalists felt in the previous government and how journalists feel in this government and the issues that has come out that is making journalists not to express their views again. What sort of things don't we say here on this particular issue? Who have they ever come after? Mostly some of the readings, when you read, they insult me personally here, they insult President Akufu, even the text messages. But who has gone after somebody? Don't I have my right? Don't you know that in our law this verbal assault is a criminal offense? But don't they normally go even verbally to assault the president? But have they ever arrested somebody? Meanwhile, the law backs that. The law supports verbal assault. You can arrest. You can charge the person. But who has ever done in this country? So for me, frankly speaking, when we are talking of national issues, I've always said, look, my NDC brothers, most people even think sometimes, some people even feel like me and Baramona should not even be sitting. There are some, in every society, we are those kind of human beings. In my party, there are people who feel that I need not to even be sitting with Baramona.
You can't say Donald. Take your time and pronounce my name. You cannot Donald.
Very well.
There is a West
Donald Ambatai Lemona.
Now you are talking.
Go ahead.
How can you say Donald?
You see, but is that the issue? The most important thing that is Ghana, and he has a different view of resolving the issues of Ghana. I have different views. The most important thing that we need to do is that see where we can all find a comfortable zone to be able to push Ghana forward.
Okay.
But not to be creating certain things that will rather put us apart. The hypocrisy of the Ghanaian is that when we leave the shores of this country, then we not see each other as brothers. When we meet somewhere, then that one there, you don't have anybody on earth apart from that person. But later you come, even he knows, even here, later we move to the north. Here you see us as one. But later we move to the north, these same issues divide us again. Then you now see this person as a Dagaba, you now see this person as a Dogumba, you now see this person as a Kokomba. I mean, these kind of things. We should not allow these kind of journalists to continue to divide us on this kind of path.
How is Manasseh dividing Ghanaians?
Oh, of course.
What he said is not true?
What he's saying, that's what I'm saying. In fact, you've known me. That in fact, if indeed he had come up with certain issues, because up to date, I have always chastised the security that the death of this Ahmed Swale, it happens not any other place than Medina. And Medina to not any obscure place around the traffic light. How are you getting me? Around the Zongo Junction area.
Okay.
Where 24/7 there are people around always. And they were using a machine. Do you get me? And they had a direction that they took in this era of trackers and other things.
Okay.
So at least I was of the view that they would have been able to zoom or zone a particular area that this is where they can nail the people. And there were even stories that came up that they were sitting around his house. Hey, viewers should forgive me. I even said sitting around his round.
Okay.
For some time, his house for some time. How are you getting me? Before they track him around the traffic light. So it means that there are people that can easily be gotten and the information given, and based on that, even in the United States, I think even in Ghana here they do it. Sometimes people sketch based on the story, the description that you give the person. They do sketching, and sometimes it matches with the exact criminal and other things. Yes. So if he had come in that particular regards, I would have agreed with him because I'm not a security expert. So you don't expect me to think that the way the security person would think. But quite apart from that, like I'm saying an act of ignorance because I'm not at their decks. I don't even know what they are doing as we speak today. What even as we speak, right, they have the person at hand. Only trying to ascertain certain things before they bring it to the general public. One cannot tell. But it is like long overdue. If these people were to kill second person, third person, they would have done it by now. Because they are still on the loose. So these are the sort of things that we need to talk about. But I come and say that the president is suppressing journalists or journalism in this country. He's not allowing the profession to, flourish as it's supposed to be and the rest. With that actually coming out with certain views that will make us believe that this is what is going on. One, even a presidential staffer slapped a journalist, destroy his recorders and other things. That one there, you didn't find any reason to talk about it. That one there, is it anything more suppressing than that one? A whole presidential staffer next to the president, that if you whispered into his ears, the next thing the president hears what you have said. He did that and was still living in the Jubilee House up to the time that they exited power. That time, where were you and the rest? Of course, to some extent, having said all this, I still have some kind of admiration and love for that gentleman. Because sometimes, most often than not, he speaks his mind. That is why I was giving him that particular lesson. Most often than not, he doesn't kowtow to people influence or societal influence. What he feels is within him is something, convincing. It's what he brings out. But sometimes it's like he gets out of, especially the time, since the time that he did that particular story at the castle. Yeah. We turn out not to be like, even here, I sat here and condemned the action. But later on, when I got to know the whole thing, I was like, but how can a journalist stoop so low to that extent? Every now and then, we all troop into castle looking for one opportunity or the other. Or every now and then, we move there to go and look for one opportunity or the other. So when you see me go with my Nima boys, they're in group. Does it mean that
those people Nima boys?
Pardon?
Did you call those people Nima boys?
Do you understand me? I'm a Nima boy, and I say if you see me and my Nima boys going
the
there,
video you watched,
I am giving you. Don't just suppose. Listen to what I'm giving you. I'm giving you a scenario that if you should see me moving into castle
But
with my
those
Nima
people were
boys.
not boys who were moved to the castle to go and look for a job. That is what I want to tell you.
Look, I don't. No, you say.
We watched the video, right? We saw people in the video. People, in actual fact, who were trained, who were being trained at the time.
Trained what?
And you are telling us that when you are giving us a scenario. You are giving us a scenario that if you move to, if you go, you are a Nima boy, and so if you go to the castle with some, Nima boys, does that mean that, people were being trained at the castle for some purposes of vigilantism and all of that? And I'm saying that the people you saw in the video, were they people that did they look like people who were moved from somewhere to the castle to go and look for opportunities?
This morning you are not different from Manasseh Azure. All of you are thinking the same way.
Because I
am saying yes, I'm saying something different. You are also saying something different. It has no bearing to what I'm even saying.
What you are trying
it has
to
no
say is
bearing. No. What you are, let me come. In the first place, have I even told you that, or have admitted that indeed people were trained at the castle? Do you have any proof as we speak right now?
We have a video proof that people were being trained at the castle.
Did you see them being trained, like going through some physical training?
So what were they doing? Those people.
Video will tell you the action. What did you see in the video?
So fantastic.
What action did you see in the video?
The people we saw in the video, what were they doing?
See, this kind of this kind of things will not help us. This is what I just condemned right now. It will not help us. And let me go back to what I was saying. I was saying that and don't forget, I have been youth leader in Nima. I have been constituency secretary in Nima, and I have been regional secretary in Greater Accra. So definitely, my people from Nima will depend on me, will be looking up to me to also do something for them. So, and I'm telling you that if I decide to march certain youth or certain a group of youth from Nima going to Castle in order to look for a job for them, and you see Sabo leading this youth into Castle,
what jobs are created?
Let me come, my friend. I'm making my submissions, and you are.
I need to ask the relevant questions. What jobs are created at the castle?
There's a seat of government.
So now people are moved to the castle.
No, who do you expect to provide jobs for you in this country? Who do you expect? No, who do you expect to provide jobs? We are not like John Mahama.
Is a castle
we are not like John Mahama where we go for IMF and then freeze. No, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's taking it from John Mahama's point of view. Because John Mahama government, there was no employment. So for him, he's thinking that government is telling qualities of John Mahama.
So now anybody can move people to the castle to look for jobs. Is that what you're saying?
You are a citizen. If you feel that if you go to castle, your problem will be resolved. Nobody will stop you.
What are some job opportunities?
And I'm telling you that you are a citizen. If you feel that if you go to the castle, your problem will be solved. Don't forget the Zongo ministry is in castle, and that's why I said Nimo boys.
So
you see, you are running faster than your legs can carry you. Let me finish with my submissions. Then if you have something, you can do it professionally. But what are you? Whether hurt yourself?
Oh really?
Oh yes, you hurt yourself.
Wow.
Oh yes, because I didn't mention Kanda. I didn't mention airport residential area. I didn't mention East Legon. I said Nima. And Zongo Ministry, the headquarters of Zongo, this is in the castle. So that is where our interest is. So if I tell you that I'm marching my youth to the castle, and then you see me because I'm going with my Nima boys in the castle, and for that matter, Sabo has taken Nima boys to train them from literally this and the rest. He should have come out, because when I heard this story first, I sat here and condemned it and said that should be the case. Then I think that's not the best. But later on, it was just people who were looking for NAPCO, and most of them, almost 80% were NAPCO. This and that were to be recruited. But you came when people were
NAPCO recruited.
Oh yes, most of them.
Proof that how are you able to tell that those people were NAPCO.
Look at what I see. Look at what I see.
What's your proof?
My proof for what?
Of you saying that those people were NAPCO recruited.
My proof is that the
100,000
that we have recruited, they are part of those 100,000 people. That's the proof.
Really?
And we have 100,000 people.
But how are you able to tell?
I'm asking a very simple question. He said that they were trained militarily. You should also prove right now. Where are they? Where are they now in the system? No, tell me where they are. I have told you where my NAPCO trainees are.
Where are they? I mean,
they are with the NAPCO.
Tell me that the people we've seen in the video,
and I'm saying that
recruit. You are just saying
the video, and then play them one after the other, and I'll show you where they are.
Oh, really?
Yes, bring the video.
Wow.
Bring the video.
You go ahead with your submission.
You see, so sometimes this is, look, let me tell you, justice. I do politics. But I love my country more than the party that I belong to. I am with NPP because I totally believe that it is only NPP who can actually bring to reality the thinking, the hope and aspirations of this country to where it's supposed to be. And that is why I'm with NPP.
Okay.
But that does not mean that when I'm in NPP and the country is sinking, or NPP is sinking the country, I will join them.
Okay.
I will not dispute you, because you see, when I used to teach geography, if you want to let the child understand that it is the earth that moves and not the sun, you sit the child in a car and you drive the car and you ask the child whether those things outside, can you see them moving? He will say yes, they are moving backwards. Even the houses, even the trees, oh, they are all moving. They tell them, have you ever seen tree moving? They will say no. And you let the child look inside the car and you ask him where you sat, have you seen it moved? He will say no. But where we pick the car, is that where we are? He will say no. They will let him know that because you are in transit or on earth, so you never see the earth moving, you only see the sun moving because you are seeing it from the window of the earth. So that is exactly what is. So my elder brother, the question he has asked me is because he's in a moving train.
No.
And the train is moving
eastwards,
and he's seeing things moving westwards. So you think that we are moving westwards.
You made your own statement that, notwithstanding the fact that you are a member of the APP, if you see the country sinking, you comment about it. The country is sinking right under your nose. It's sinking right under your nose. You are not saying anything.
Yes.
Can you learn from me?
Yes. So I've done how many minutes?
Can you learn from me? Hey,
23 minutes for someone.
I think you should continue being the timekeeper.
Just learn from me. Yeah.
So in a nutshell, I'm not saying this to discourage the young man, because there are so many good things that he has done in this country that we've all benefited from. There are so many things that he has brought to bear, which actually saved this country millions of cedis. Not even forgetting of the fraud and other things. I don't want us to go there because we're not talking of corruption this morning.
All right.
And so many contracts that came up, and I was wanting something Zuri. The other contractor, what was the name? The Burkina Faso contractor.
Are you talking about the Ford expedition issue?
Yes. No. Not. I didn't even mention Ford. I said the contractor.
You go ahead. But
no, the contractor. Remind me of his name.
Well, you landed. Let me.
So I'll continue to support his work, because just one or two mistakes will not make a good person a bad person.
Okay.
To me, he's more positive.
Has he done
in
any
journalism?
Mistake? Has he committed any mistake?
Oh no, but what he has done today, he has disgraced me.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your submission, Chairman.
Since we have refused to take the moment to welcome the perpetual
sorry.
let me do that for you. So on behalf of
I think that this statement has been unfair to me. Perpetual. You said that I come late sometimes.
He's the same person to who says
sometimes.
There are many days I'm the first to come here.
It's very true anyway.
Okay.
No, not many days. Some days.
I just returned from
no, but don't say many days.
You know that
but
some days.
Very
hectic. I've been around going.
He said all this. He said all this. He said all this.
And in fairness to me, sometimes you are so tired.
Because television is not like radio. If you listen to my initial submission, I said being an MP, you have a more onerous responsibility than majority of us.
Yes. Exactly.
And that sometimes to even drop your phone to take a shower, it's a problem. Because you wake up at 3 a.m. and people have started calling you with myriad of issues that you have to attend to. Sometimes just to drop your phone to go take a shower. But that does not mean that you don't come late.
Yes, I'm saying that if you ask.
But no, the point I was making is that he should have welcomed you. And he didn't welcome you.
My problem with you is the use of the word.
We are not worried about the fact that he declined to welcome you.
That one we can deal with it. But coming from you as a perpetual is every day I come here.
And that's not true.
You see, and it's true that many of them, you can ask them. Sometimes I come and wait here, even before the program starts.
You see, in the economics that I've studied, exceptions are not the rule. So the exceptions are that sometimes you come early.
No, so most of the time I come early. Most of the time I'm here even before the program starts. Okay. It just happens that a few times.
The way justice is over smiling,
and if it's lateness, I'm sure all of us are. None of us is 100%.
No, Sabo. let's grant that. You know, when we sit at the chief's palace and you hear boom, they turn and look at the least person there.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, Chairman, kindly go ahead for me.
Anyway, I welcome Alhaji ABF Hussaini to the show.
I welcome him too. Alhaji, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
To say that even as you are not here, people have started sending messages praising you.
The friendly fire.
Yeah. And they say I should remind you that when they say face masks, it covers your nose and your mouth. Not when you cover only your mouth.
No, when I was talking to you, that I brought it.
But then you should remove it from your mouth.
Yes, when I'm going to talk, I'll remove it.
This morning, Sabo has embarked on a very self-destructive path, which is very perilous and dangerous for his person. That today, Manasseh Azuri Awuni is a subject of condemnation, attacks, and vilification by elements of the New Patriotic Party. Should tell you that Manasseh Azuri is a saint on earth.
Very well.
The same level of writings, opinions, that today attracts such vitriolic attacks from the members of the New Patriotic Party were the same writings and opinions that earned Manasseh Azuri tons of praise from the New Patriotic Party members when their party was in opposition. So that's why I say Manasseh Azuri is a saint on earth. Because what has he done differently? This time round, he has not even done investigations again to expose the enormous corruption, thievery,
vigilantism,
rot that is in the system. All he's saying is that press freedom has been rolled back, and that if care is not taken, we'll risk our democracy. Was it only Manasseh Azuri that spoke at the occasion organized by the Center for Social Democracy? He was not.
Suleiman Abrahima also.
Suleiman Abrahima, the executive secretary of the Media Foundation for West Africa.
Yeah.
Even went further to say that anytime the freedoms of persons are curtailed and that when there is no independent media, it leads to despotic rule, and despotism can lead to an aberration of our democracy. Manasseh's unfortunate attacks emanate from the fact that his name is credited to the story. And what did he say? He said that there is so much bastardization of freedoms that if you dare want to speak even your professional view on matters that are happening in this country, you'll be hounded out of your office. And that the security agencies, a lot of things are going on that they are unhappy about. But they dare not speak because you will be hounded. He says that if you come to the medical profession, a lot of things, particularly with COVID, the doctors, the nurses, and other persons are not able to speak of what they are going through. I cited an example where my wife is involved, where at the hospital that she works, there was only one, what we call it, protective gear, and they brought a suspected COVID patient to the hospital. What happened? They went to do the checks, only to get there, and then they were like, should we attend? Not. So one of the persons, was only one. So they gave the overall and things to that person to wear. And then when they examined this person, it turned out that the person was COVID negative. They had to come and call them to answer for why they should use the PPE, and only to arrive at a negative conclusion. Yet they are not allowed to talk publicly.
Very well.
Because you have said that you have supplied enough PPEs to our medical personnel. You give them nose masks and they'll use it for more than 1 month. And doctors, nurses, they can't talk. This is the extent to which freedoms have been curtailed and nipped. Even politicians speaking, Alaji, politicians, not just members of parliament, politicians speaking, has become a very huge problem. You don't know the circumstances that led to my invitation to the police. Did I shoot a gun?
Not at all.
Did I throw a stone?
Not at all.
Did I pick a cudgel?
Not at all.
What you said yourself, within yourself, what you said. You are not.
They shot a gun.
No.
They shot a gun at a registration center.
No.
That
you are a northerner. What you said in our northern now culture.
Northerners are not
say
Ghanaians.
This to the chief. What do you think?
Northerners are not Ghanaians.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That if you admonish the chief
in our culture,
that if you admonish the chief that something is wrong, and that if care is not taken, actions of the chief will lead to a disaster.
After that one,
the democracy is not monarchy.
When this young man was talking, I was quiet. When this young man was talking, I was quiet.
Big man or young man?
Can you allow him to make his submission? I beg you. Bernard, you can go ahead.
I said when this young man was talking, I was quiet. I was only admiring his controversies.
Very well.
You understand? They speak of all these things and say that media personnel cannot speak. They can't even conduct investigations again. In fact, investigations they have conducted, you dare not bring them out. You remember Edward Adeti?
Adeti, very well, yeah.
You remember?
The Star FM guy.
What did he do? He exposed an attempt to tell a judge to deal with a certain situation because it involves some people that we must take care of. You saw the attacks on him.
Very well.
His house had been vandalized. His family was under threat. Manasseh Azuri, after doing the militia in the castle, what happened? He had to be whisked away by Media Foundation for West Africa.
He went on exile.
The media house that he was working with was a subject of attack that he had to resign and go freelance. Need more be added? And he comes to say that press freedom has rolled back, and that will warrant the kind of unsavory remarks that you have made on this burgeoning journalist. What is our country turning into? We will continue to speak. Go and look for machetes and come and put on our throats. We will speak.
Nobody is gagging you first.
What is this? Look, Akufo-Addo is the most chaotic president that this nation has produced.
Most chaotic?
Most chaotic president that this nation has produced. And we will say it. So when we are saying it, how? Somebody who tells himself as a defender of human rights. Look at the bizarre circumstances that people cannot even open their mouths. And when you open your mouth, you must be subjected to all manner of attacks. And when they are talking about it, even speaking about it, that look, we don't have the same freedom that we enjoyed yesterday. You were talking about the Kananzoe story, which led to one fort, Chingelenge Fort. At the time they were talking about John Mama receiving a fort. They were at the same time accusing John Mama of doling vehicles to other people. No, so
very well.
They were saying that John Mama had so much that he was doling vehicles to people, and now they were condemning John Mama that he received a Ford car. That they praised Manasseh Azuri
for bringing out.
Today, Manasseh Azuri cannot even say that our freedoms are being curtailed. God save us from Akufo-Addo and his dangerous governing practice.
All right, thank you so much, Chairman, for your submission. Honorable, press freedom.
Yeah. Let me say without any item, first and foremost, let me say good morning to your good self.
Good morning.
To my brother, Comrade Benamona, for being gracious enough to withdraw the perpetual.
Today you have to give me points because publicly it has been pronounced that I'm the poorest person in Ghana.
Oh, who said that?
Dr. Mama said, Janet Nabila said that I'm poor. That's why we went to NEC and I prevail upon NEC to reduce our filing fees, and that politics is not for poor people. So being the poor person, Alaji.
Did Janet say that?
She said that publicly.
No, you know
yesterday
that,
she took me.
I know access to Janet. I'll find out.
Oh, just call her. She said I'm poor.
Because anybody who advocates for the reduction of filing fees is actually trying to let democracy get to the ground.
And I just want you to know that since
no problem,
given your proximity to her,
okay,
you must give me some coins.
I will find out.
All right.
And then to my brother Sabo.
The disingenuous Sabo,
who has expressed his unalloyed commitment to ensure that if the country is sinking and under any regime, you will be right under his nose. The country is sinking.
Has sunk.
In fact, has sunk a lot. We are left with our nose. He's not seen it fit to fight his own government that he claims he will fight. I wish him well. I know he's a very patriotic.
Maybe he doesn't think so. He doesn't think that the country has sunk.
Of course,
Alaji, you know,
in our language, people of the Sanaro
they say that when the feces is on the nose of the dog,
yes,
it doesn't hear the smell.
Small. That's okay. I want to salute the Burkina people of the Sanaro constituency.
All right.
Justice, notwithstanding our rejection of the creation of the new voters register, when the government made it a fait accompli, we still said that we will do everything possible to make sure that Nana Akufo-Addo is uprooted like cassava on December 7th. So the good people of Sanaro, Justice, they performed a wonderful feat.
Okay.
From 43,800 and something that we had in the previous register,
very well,
up to 2019, Justice, they have moved the number in the Sanaro constituency to 71,000.
Wow.
559. Sanaro constituency alone.
Almost times two.
I'm telling you, they moved the figure from 43,000 to 71,000 in this last registration. Fantastic. And it's to show their readiness to boot out. But because I tell you that in Sanaro constituency, in the NDC, we get not less than 83%. Okay? And so it's going to come. The people are very eager to get rid of this hopelessly uninspiring government. You see, but Justice, if you talk of intolerance, you see, it's those who don't know the history and this in generally of the MPP and particularly of the Nana Akufo-Addo group. Justice, our people have a saying that if you can find feathers to pluck from the tortoise, what will you do when you get a fowl? You remember in the run-up to the 2016 election, Nana Akufo-Addo descended heavily on his critics within the party. If you thought you were a man and you made any hymn against him, my brother, he will send his forces after you. So, Justice, in the run-up to the 2016 election, you remember what happened to Paul Afoko, national chairman of the party. He was uprooted from his own office at the party headquarters. Okay? They descended on the general secretary of the party, Governor Japan. Descended on Sami Krab, national vice chairman. All descending people in the party, they descended upon them, even right to the constituency level. So, up initio, Nana Akufo-Addo was sending a signal that he is somebody who will not broker an iota of dissent. And just he doesn't broker dissent at all. Nobody can dissent. So if even within his party he can treat people like this, that's why I said that if you can find feathers to pluck from a tortoise, what will you do when you get a fowl? So when he gets people outside, you can imagine what will happen to them. Even his own party, this is what they have done to them. And we are all in this country. The same Manasseh Azure, they are condemning left, right, and center. And let me take the opportunity to salute this young man. That this country needs more of such characters. More of such gallant sons who can stand up and speak the truth. Damn the consequences. Justice is not for us that, it's not for nothing that when we got up in parliament and sang the oppressor's song, because Nana Akufo-Addo is behaving like a despot. Okay? He's not behaving like he's a constitutionally elected leader who is accountable to the people, who the people can question, who the people can scrutinize. That he has a bounden duty to account to the good people of this country. And so part of the accountability is for people to pose questions and have answers. Is to criticize him. Even where there's condemnation, to condemn him.
But he's always criticized.
He's not a monarch.
But he's always criticized.
He's exhibiting a zero tolerance for criticism. If you look, the MPP will throw, look at what they have done, look at what they did to President Mama. They even threw a kitchen sink at President Mama. But you dare throw a pebble at the MPP, they will come after you. So they can throw a kitchen sink at you. You cannot throw a pebble at them. This is the character of the people we are talking about.
Okay.
So Justice, this same Manasseh you are talking about,
yeah.
Go back and look in the run-up to the 2016 election. The MPP hailed Manasseh. My brother Azuri, they hailed him to the high heavens, especially when he published the story on this
Ford
expedition, which eventually turned out not to be even as factual as it was. But they hailed him to the high heavens. Because the Ford expedition was even part of the
fleet of cars
in the Flagstaff House at that time. Okay? And it was not for the personal use of President Mahama. And in any case, we were not giving in respect of that thing they talked about.
Okay.
So, when that story was published, the MPP hailed Azure to the high heavens. They touted him as a beacon of hope in the media annals of this country. Okay? He was touted, hailed, acclaimed. Now, compare, even under President Mahama, when he Manasseh, after having subjected President Mahama to that unfair treatment, where he put him in that public limelight, when he was launching his book, President Mahama was the first to go and buy a copy of his book. I want to make a compare and contrast the characters between President Mahama and President Akufo-Addo, so that Ghanaians will see that one is a despot, one is a democrat, one is masquerading as a consummate democrat and perpetrating despotic tendencies, and one is truly living the accolades of a democrat. You see, so when after he had done that to President Mahama went and bought the first copy of his book.
Yeah.
Not only did he patronize the event, he bought the first copy of his book and honored his invitation and did honor to him. Okay? Fast forward. When Manasseh uttered the militia in the castle, you remember that story?
Very well.
On Joy FM. Hell broke loose. The MPP was gunning for his blood. You remember?
Very well.
He had to run out of this country.
He ran away for his life.
He sought remedy from his feet. The man who does not want to seek calamity seeks remedy from his feet and fled the country for his life. Okay? The blood-sucking goose of the MPP were after him. What happened? What was the response of the government of Nana Akufo-Addo? They were livid with rage. Indeed, they started what? The issue of the boycott of multimedia. You remember?
Very well. Yeah.
So look at this. I just told you. In the case of President Mahama, Manasseh this thing. He went and patronized the event, was the first person to buy the copy of the book, and did honor to Manasseh. When the table stand and he published ministry and the castle, they were looking for his blood. And in turn, what did they do? They boycotted multimedia. So can you see the contrasting?
Leading to the resignation of Manasseh.
Exactly. Can you see the stark contrast between the MPP and the NDC, and who is a Democrat, who is a lover of press freedom? I'm not going to talk about the beating, maiming, and killing of journalists, which is a record. The threat that the MPP has posed to media freedom in this country. Okay? So that one is obvious. To the point that when Ghana was being ranked in the World Press Freedom rankings, we sank. Under President Mahama, we had occupied a very enviable positions. Under Nana Akufo-Addo, we sank. So doesn't it sound bizarre that somebody who is so-called lover of press freedom, he assumes the presidency, and this thing is happening to all media people and to the media freedom and media space that we have. So he just tells you that he was masquerading as a Democrat in a false cloak of despotism. So he was a despot masquerading as a Democrat. As soon as power got into his hands, he was pretending to be a Democrat when he was in opposition. Now that he's gotten power, his true colors will emerge. And Ghanaians are seeing the true colors of Nana Akufo-Addo today. That he is no lover of press freedom. Indeed, he detests press freedom. And
Manasseh himself once told President Akufo-Addo that Mahama wasn't vindictive, and so the president should learn from him.
Yes. So it's clear. When the landlord has spoken eloquently of the story of a house, you don't ask the critical for confirmation.
That's true.
He's the one who is seeing it, and he's telling you that. So it's abundantly clear, you know. And I, for one, look under the watch of President Nana Akufo-Addo. Media houses that have been shut down. Radio Gold. Today, we have lost one of the beacons of media professionalism in our country.
That's very true.
SYZ, Matambo FM. Many districts across the country, under the guise of not meeting some of their obligations. And I sitting on the Communications Committee of Parliament, can say without any iota of doubt that even it is not just even the NCA, because the NCA had even attempted to even start sorting out the reapplication of Radio Gold and others.
Very well.
But it is Nana Akufo-Addo who doesn't want Radio Gold, XYZ, and all of them to come back. It is directly him.
What makes you think so?
I am telling you.
Do you have any proof to
yes.
that?
Oh, look, I am just indicating to you that I sit on the committee, and there are things that obviously I cannot divulge all of it in public.
Okay.
But I'm indicating to you that we went into the matter.
Okay.
We got the minister, we got the NCA, all of them came before on this matter. And an amicable settlement was taken, and Radio Gold was asked to reapply. Radio Gold reapplied actually to NCA, and NCA started processing their applications. The word came from the top. And I can say without any iota of that is from Nana Akufo-Addo. That stopped all the other actions. This is supposed to be a level of press freedom. Shutting down radio stations, shutting down TV stations, shutting down, and treating journalists so roughly. So you can tell without any iota of doubt that he's no lover of press freedom. And so, justice, the evidence is out there.
Okay.
It is abundantly clear that if you compare and contrast media pluralism and media freedom, how come that under President Mahama, all these people were allowed to flourish? Sometimes you can err on the side of ensuring the democratic rights and freedoms of our people.
Okay.
So that is why sometimes government can overlook a few things and allow the media space to continue to widen. How come that from President Rollins, when we started liberalizing the media, you remember the days of Radio I and all those, Tarzan and Co, when Radio I started and the media freedom started opening under President Rollins. Then under President Kufuor, it continued to open. Under President Mills, it opened further. President Mahama, that one there, the door was Baja. Then the so-called level of press freedom comes in, and the space starts constricting. We start shrinking, going back, media houses even closing down. What does that tell you about the character of the leader? So it speaks eloquently to his disdain for criticism.
But it doesn't also mean that when some media houses also flout the law, they should go ahead and then operate.
Yes, justice. We have said that. You see, when you are going to kill the mosquito, you may kill the mosquito, but not with a sledgehammer.
That's true.
Okay? And that governments are minded to act. Even as they enforce the law, they must not do so vindictively. You remember the ruling of the Electronic Commission, Tribunal under Justice Dateba said that the NCO was caught in procedural impropriety.
Okay.
Okay. So that tells you that certain things were not done, and that the NCA is not minded to be in the hurry to close down radio or television stations. And that, on the contrary, if they have an infraction, they have a duty to give those people the opportunity to rectify the error. So just if you come and you are mandate by press freedom, and a certain radio station doesn't pay its license, you'll be mandate to get them to pay the license.
Very well.
They are involved in an infraction. Don't let them get away. I agree. They should not be allowed to get away with the infraction. But we'll give them the opportunity to rectify the error. Okay? So we are giving you an opportunity within this to try and rectify the error. But you are not in a hurry to just close them down. Otherwise, it looks as if we are looking for a pretext to already get them out.
Very true.
That is the difference between the NDC and the NPP. And especially between Nana Akufo-Addo. And I must be gracious to add that even under President Kufuor, this did not happen. It just happened under Nana Akufo-Addo. And that speaks to the character of that government. The character of this government in place. That they have no iota of attempt to brook up media freedom and criticism.
Very well.
Criticism is at the heart of our democracy. To be able to criticize a government. The day we lose the right to criticize our government, as the Nana Akufo-Addo government is trying to do, we have descended into the realm of despotism. We are no longer a democracy.
Okay.
So today the despotic tendencies of this government is all over the place.
Okay.
Teachers and others who get up to speak about things that are happening in their schools, they kick them out. They get dismissed. To the point that even in our security forces, people are even scared today to speak about things that are happening even in our military, things that are happening in the police, things that are happening in other institutions of state. I want to take this opportunity to tell Ghanaians that let us stand up as men with balls and speak the right thing. If something is going wrong, let us be bold enough to get up and say it. This democracy that was fought for. And so we should not allow a president with despotic tendencies to come and intimidate all of us and scatter the democracy that we have. It should not be allowed to happen.
Very well. All right, thank you so much, Honorable, for your submission. Let me take a few of our messages, then we'll move on to the next topic of discussion. This one says, well, Radio Gold and XYZ and other stations were closed down, and you say press freedom has not rolled back. Please give us a break. Azuri is right. From Alhaji Haruna in Ashaiman. Alhaji, thank you so much for your message. Good morning, panelists. The NPP, we all know, have done unprecedented things. Hey, NPP, is that the good governance you promised the good people of Ghana? We have long been waiting for our one district, one factory, one village, one dam. We have not seen a sign yet alone to talk of the yearly $1 million per constituency. Again, the very people who claimed they are the custodians of Ghana's democracy and freedom of speech, and yet go about closing all radio stations belonging to NDC. Journalists are being killed and molested every now and then. I therefore urge all Ghanaians to come out massively and vote out this non-performing government for a better governance. Suleiman in Offenso sent in that one. This one says, good morning to you all, especially Honorable Alhaji Appiah Husseini for his sagacious and witty analysis and no-noise approach in condemning human rights abuses in the despotic Nanado government. Thanks, Nanado. The culture of silence is back, where it is only the bold who can speak. Honorable Karim Idrisu in Obuasi sent in that one. Well, I have lots of messages. Please don't call the WhatsApp line. I'm sorry. I can't answer a call on this number. So this one says NPP infrastructures are a physical touching and feeling ones. Not like that of the NDC so-called Green Book infrastructure, which was not reflecting on the grounds. JM NDC 8 years with 29 E-blocks compared to NPP 3 years in 8 months, 27 E-blocks. NDC's incompetence has finally spoken loudly. Thank you so much. He said 4 more for Nana to do more. President Akufo-Addo is... Oh, sorry. If the messages should come devoid of insults. If you sent in anything that's insulting, I won't read it. Good morning, Pan-African TV. I'm Ajwa from Abetifi. To be honest with you, press freedom under this government is really rolling back. Under this, they are free senior high. A lot of things are not going on well at the schools, and you dare not say it as a teacher or headmaster. There are no funds to run the schools, even enough money to buy practical items for these WASE, and you cannot say. Even with the COVID-19 at schools, heads were told not to talk to the media about it when cases are recorded, so they are no longer doing contact tracing at the schools. I am calling on journalists to do undercover investigations, and they will see more. This government indeed has tied our mouths and noses. Thank you so much for your message. Please don't call the WhatsApp line. How do you expect me to answer your call on this? Reckless and gross incompetence. The NPP deceived Ghanaians, and it saddens me why the media is silent. Abugri Isaac sent in that one. This one says, the bigotry perpetrating across the country because some have political power will soon vanish from those individuals. There we will see where they will migrate to. They will be judged by their own actions. Comrade Ibrahim, Wa East constituency, sent in this one. I'm not seeing some of the messages. Good morning, Justice, and to the panel. The NPP government has shown us where pepper lies. I do hope Ghanaians learn from this 4 years. I can't wait for when NDC comes to power. Bernard Mona, my forever respect to you. Cindy Dipku sent in this one. Cindy, thank you so much for your message. MPP, never again in the history of Ghana. Nanado should stop the rhetoric. John Ebate, Deputy Communication Officer, Sola Tuna Kalba constituency. Thank you so much. Let me come back here for us to continue with the discussion. We'll box these topics together. Let's debate infrastructure track record. Former President John Dramani Mahama challenges President Akufo-Addo, and then government's sudden interest in infrastructure, surprising and deceptive, says former President John Dramani Mahama. I'll start with you, Chairman Bernard Mona, on this.
Why are you starting with me on a topic that involves
NDC and MPP?
The two political parties that are leading our country to the bottom.
I would first want to take your view on this.
Oh, no, I have no problem. These are two political parties that are on a race to the bottom.
Very well.
You can see that it appears that all of them, or both of them, their stock in trade is to lie, get political office, and when they win, they start doing the opposite. Obviously, and I want to start from the debate.
Okay.
Was it not in this country when huge infrastructural projects were being shown across, some of which I had problems with because whilst I was in my Sankana doing my campaigns, I saw a cinema van come to Sankana, and in Sankana Barichi, they were displaying many big projects that the NDC had done. They showed the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, circle interchange. They showed the Kasua interchange that was near completion. They showed the Tema interchange that was being under construction. They showed the Pokwase interchange under construction and all that. And they showed the Ridge Hospital that was completed. They showed the University of Ghana. So when they finished all those things, I mean, in Sankana, so I'm talking about things they came to show in Sankana. The question I asked my people is that where are the projects that they did in Sankana? That was the question I asked. Because I can't be in Sankana looking for roads to be done, looking for, what do we call it, delivery beds for our hospital. We don't have. And you are showing me huge edifices that you have done. It means that you are telling me that I am not part of the country.
Very well.
So we took issues with them. But I also recall that whilst we were taking issues alone, some of the projects were, in my opinion, they were nice, they were good, because the expansion of the Tamale, the, what do we call it, airport, to international standard, the construction of the Wa airport, which was left for several, in fact, it was just last November that the airport was eventually commissioned to start operation. You understand? Otherwise, everything was done. So we were condemning those things. And sometimes I ask the question, how many of us can actually afford a plane ticket from the communities? And yet, under emergencies, we will struggle to afford a plane ticket. But what we need most is to get our roads at least made more trouble. We will be able to ease the kind of accidents that we get on our roads. We'll also be able to carry our foodstuffs, particularly from the farms, to the homes or to the marketing center so that we can also eke out a living. Those were the challenges some of us were having with the development that the NDC was showcasing. But that was not the challenge the MPP had with them. MPP had a challenge with asking whether we eat roads. That was the question they were asking. They were asking, people who want food to eat, and you are there showcasing infrastructural developments that you have embarked on. Today, the same MPP that says that we don't eat roads, somersault to say that we have done more infrastructure. Can the same question be asked of them? Do we eat roads? Can the same question be asked? What will be their response? Or now that they are doing them, we eat roads. That aside, my major concern is how are these roads funded? How are in the infrastructural development that they are touting today, how are they funded? Because that is the major concern of all of us.
Yeah.
And at that time, you know what we were told? Bawumia went to Kaswa and told all of us that he has worked at the Bank of Ghana before, not as governor, but deputy governor, and that he knows that Ghana doesn't need to go and borrow money.
Yeah.
The money is sitting right there in the Bank of Ghana, and that all the development that this country needs, we have money to do the development. And so it was unthinkable that our government will engage or embark on a path of borrowing to develop our nation. True, he said so. Thankfully, Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia ticket won the elections. So it was just for Bawumia and Nana Akufo-Addo to go to the Bank of Ghana and take our money and develop our nation. What have we seen? Borrowing in extraordinary terms. Borrowing midnights. Borrowing without regards to rules and regulations. Everything borrowing, to the extent that my brother has now become Boromia. You understand?
Very well.
Everything we have borrowed. President Akufo-Addo himself pronounced that Ghana for Yasem aye mobo dodo. Yet to sikaso accommodation. I'm not. I don't even know why. Oh, I thought you said you were born and raised in Takwa and those surroundings.
I was born in Takwa, but I was raised. So you can understand me better than him. We are Savannah products.
Come on, you're the Dagari Chehokuma.
We toss. We toss. We toss the veil.
So that don't be confused. We are speaking our language. Since Sabo want to take me to Lagos, I have to go to
That's fine. All right, Chairman, you can go ahead with your submission.
So we have sold you.
It's obvious. It's obvious that they lied. They lied to get power. And again, the very things that they said that, look, these are not the things that will propel our growth, lead to our salvation as a people. Today they are on the park, saying that we have done this, we have done this, we have done this. And that is why I said that the things that NDC did, that MPP said was not good, today they are saying that they are doing them and that it is good. Is it not a race to the bottom? They should lift up the game of politics so that decent people can know that at least when we speak, we mean what we have said. But what we are happening now, or what is happening now, is sickening. And yesterday, worst of all, President Mahama then says that it is not a difficult thing to do. Akufo-Addo, you say you have done infrastructure more than I have done. Come to an infrastructural debate. Then I hear Deputy Campaign Manager for Akufo-Addo say that no, it's not about any debate. The people of Ghana will not eat debate. So we don't think that we should subject our president to
Does it mean that one person is afraid? One person
so I then said, you are saying that I have done more. Somebody say you have not done. Let's go to the debate. Come and sit on the table. You list or talk about the things you have done. I also talk about it. We can go to the locations and check and verify.
Very well.
And then your people have started. Just after you have made the huge noise that you have done well, you are now retracting that no, as for debate, we are not going to engage in. What kind of heroes are these? They should stop disturbing the ears of Ghanaians.
All right, thank you so much, Emma, for your submission. Very well. I think we'll be going for the break at 9:45. We are left with some few minutes to go. So you can start your submission for me, Sabo. We are boxing the two topics together. The infrastructure debate. The infrastructure track record debate. Okay, so the infrastructure track record debate and then government's sudden interest in infrastructure, surprising and deceptive, says former President John Dramani Mahama. The two together.
They gave you a paper, you don't need.
I think the shocker of the 2016 election on John Dramani Mahama is still hunting him.
Oh.
Not with Franco too. Mostly, he speaks absent-minded.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
You think so?
Oh, yes. Yes. No, I'm coming.
He's been absent-minded for calling for a debate.
Oh, why? When he was just saying these things, he said so much. You didn't ask him, you didn't try to verify.
Yeah, I just want to verify.
So I'm building up. I have not said that I've finished talking.
Okay.
I'm still talking. What I have realized of him recently is that either the people around him are not treating him well, or he's suffering from stress, or still battling to come out of the 2016 shocker, which I think is the case. If he says that suddenly we have resorted to infrastructure and we are now trying to boast of infrastructure in this country, one,
I think that there should be a correction. He didn't say you have resorted to infrastructure.
He has said that.
There are sudden interest.
Government sudden interest in surprising and deceptive.
So it's not as if you have done infrastructure. You haven't done anything.
No.
So you're saying that you resorted to infrastructure. Showing interest is not the same as that you are doing infrastructure.
Fortunately for me and you, we are all the bamba.
Since
let me come. Let me come. It's English. It's written here.
What is it?
No, I'm coming.
Interpret it.
Yes. Government sudden interest.
Yes.
In infrastructure.
Yes.
No. What is the meaning of
But
that?
you have never been interested in infrastructure.
That's different.
No.
All of a sudden you are showing interest in wanting to go.
So are we not resorting to infrastructure?
You are not doing the work.
No. I'm coming. No. But are we not turning towards infrastructure?
You are not. That is exactly where I want you.
No. I'm not even talking of the judgment. I'm restricting my comprehension.
Did I hear Sabo say that you are not speaking Dagbanli here?
Yes, you are not getting me. Maybe he
said that we are
all the Gumbes. So our linguistic listen matches. At least the way we interpret things and the rest.
Okay.
Pardon?
And that what is written on the paper is English.
You are coming from the back door. You don't understand what I'm saying.
No problem. If you can come through the back door and score a goal, it's okay.
Anyway, but I want to ask you a question, briefly.
Okay.
Since when I believe that the former president wanted to say that since when has the New Patriotic Party been interested in infrastructure? Because during his tenure, when he was embarking on, we don't eat infrastructure.
You people are running. So that is
no.
Why is it that it's my time? You cannot allow me. Because you know that you cannot stand me.
Okay, go on.
Listen, one. If you are asking me a question, let me answer your question before I still come back to what I was saying.
Since we don't eat infrastructure, why are you then suddenly interested in that?
Where were you when we presented our manifesto? Talking of the infrastructure development that we'll do in this country when given the mandate. Where were you? No, where were you?
Now do we eat?
No. So does it mean that it's now that we are talking about infrastructure?
But now do we eat?
No. You see, I'm not running away from your earlier question. You are saying that since when have you started
being interested in infrastructure?
And I'm telling you, before we voted into power, when we came to Ghanaians that they should vote us into power, what did we tell Ghanaians?
At what point did
you?
Okay, you have involved
my brother, you are not helping the discourse.
No, that was
just accept defeat that you're falling flat.
No, let me ask you a question. Why wouldn't you allow me to ask you a question?
I'm asking you a question. You are not even also allowing me for me to feed you with the answers.
I just wanted to settle this right now.
Okay.
When they were embarking on infrastructural development projects,
yes.
You have stated categorically that we don't eat infrastructure.
Where did we state that? Where did we state that? Where did we state that?
You didn't say that?
Yes. Bring it out.
This one there.
You see, I just decided to brush that one off, but it is like you people still want me to bring you on.
So you cannot run away from the fact that
I'm saying that
party has
in fact we are on a national distance, and I'm saying that bring that one.
A member of your party even said that if it took borrowing
let me make my submissions. I think there's
it's a lazy man's approach. Are you lazy today? Is a Patriotic Party lazy by? It's a lazy man approach to borrow and engage on it.
You keep on shifting the goalposts. You first said that when the minister show interest. When I answered that one, you said this. When I answered this, you go this. Please allow me to answer. I think it's a way of you not letting me tell Ghanaians
I just want to ask you this question, then you go ahead. What I'm saying is that if you've said all those things when the previous government was embarking on infrastructural development,
and I'm saying that
when we realize that
I said we will not say that. I said that prove me wrong.
That it wasn't a lazy man's
approach. You will not be able to answer it. So if you go with my submission,
go ahead.
Yes, we will not be able to say. You people should. Why are you people running faster? Why your body itching you like that?
Just go ahead.
Well, you don't have the facts. You come and sit here and be saying this and this and that. Even though you cannot produce the facts.
I'll produce the fact. Don't worry.
Produce it. One, like I said, John Dramani Mahama doesn't take his time to talk.
Well, give me a minute. Let's go for a commercial break. I'll be back for you to continue. Sorry, I need to go and sell.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day. Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Africa with me, Justice Appiah. Keep your messages coming in on 0260846539, 0260846539. We are live on Facebook at Pan African Television, also live on YouTube at Pan African Television. You can leave your comments, suggestions, questions, and whatnot over there. We'll read all those out for you. Sabo,
yes,
you can go ahead.
So, like I was saying, so if President John Dramani Mahama will be asking the question of our sudden interest in infrastructure, then I tend to wonder, as the immediate past president of the state and a president in power, and you don't expect him to talk of infrastructure. You don't expect him to bring to bear what he has done in terms of delivering on our infrastructural needs. Quite apart from that's why I asked the earlier question, that you should have rather gone to our manifesto and see the shortfalls or the shortcomings, and rather bring that one, maybe to tell Ghanaians that this was our earlier position, and now this is what we have resorted to. Then, of course, you have been making a lot of sense to the likes of me. But maybe, unless he come to interpret his own English. But quite apart from that, Justice, you agree with me, this country, if you look at our economy, largely is divided into three main parts, largely. The first, on top of it being the agricultural sector.
Okay.
The next being the service, and then the last being the manufacturing. But in terms of performance, service has already taken lead of agriculture, and agriculture is following, and then what do you call it? Manufacturing is following. I'm talking of in terms of their contributions to GDP.
Okay.
Yes. And I need not to even repeat what you know already or what our viewers know already. Our records within the space of the 3 to 4 years mandate given us, what we have done in agriculture. And it is not surprising that even in the midst of COVID-19, when there was this fear and anticipation of shortage of food because there was no more importation of food, and people were of the view that the way our economy is and the rest, if they should close the borders for just 1 week or 2 weeks, some of us will starve to death. But over 4, 5 months, 6 months, there's no any alarm to even indicate that our borders are not open. There's no more importation of food from outside due to the sufficient, supply of food from our local farms. And as we speak, almost every region, the 16 region, there is no single region that we have not constructed the warehouses that, of course, in agriculture we used to refer to either silos, modern silos, in all the 16 regions. Almost every district, other districts are still under constructions. We have constructed this into stock, under the buffer stock listing, to make sure that farmers will not have problem with this kind of glut, or after they have harvested and then there is no ready market for it. This time there's ready market for especially cereals that normally suffers a lot. And that after tubers there, you agree with me, it's now one of the non-traditional exports in the country. It's normally even in short in supply. So that one, I don't think the NDC can challenge us. And of course, we have also increased the farmer extension officer to farmer ratio, thereby minimizing the risks in agriculture, and of course maximizing higher yield in farming. And of course, under the planting for food and jobs too, we have also provided a lot of employment for youth, and have provided them with an improved seedlings to come out with hybrid, or better put it, better seedling, I've forgotten of this term, but it's a hybrid of food production, which normally shorten the lifespan of if it is taking 3 months to mature, now it will take about 2 months or 1.5 months, it is already matured, and what have you. All these things have been put in place. And of course, like I said earlier on, the harvest, it is evident in our investment in agriculture as a government. Then now, let's move straight to what they call it. And of course, one village, one dam. Don't forget, it was also a strategic plan to boost agricultural production in this country, especially the part where the two of us come from. Most of our parents and our brothers normally involved in animal husbandry, and sometimes these animals have to travel a very long distance to get water. And even our own mothers and sisters in our villages sometimes have to travel past about 2 or 3 villages to get water. Just one drum, the person will travel for almost about 8 kilometers in and out, 16 kilometers, just 1 pound of water. Now we've brought the water closer to the villages to ease their pain, their suffering, and also improve upon their agricultural production in those areas. Then when we come to education, what the NDC most often don't want to hear is that, you can bring out the information that you have searched for, and I know where you are
well,
going.
there's a viewer. A viewer here. He's called Abubakar Sadiq. He says, I like the 3 smokes, but tell Mr. Sabo that my poly tank was captured in their town hall meeting. Why?
Well, of course, I like his this. You can imagine poly tank for what? For what?
As part of the
As part of the
nobody's poly tank.
Dr. Alpha Musebu says that.
Well,
none of us is wearing face.
I love his sense of humor.
You know, Dr. Alpha Musiri. He said none of us is wearing a face mask, and that we should remember that we are not yet out of COVID.
No, in fact, I think he's right. You myself,
yours is
I'm
a
wearing
chin
the face mask. When I'm clicking, I put it down.
Okay, so let Dr. Alpha know that
no,
you are
I
wearing.
think we should thank him for that. It's a very good advice that he has given us.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes.
So
how come
education.
Okay,
Abubakar
now he went
Sadiq?
further to say that we need you to witness the inevitable victory of the NDC, no, the PNC, come December 7th.
Of course. On that one, of course, he's just joking.
He's just joking, eh?
Forget
Anyway,
about that.
go
I
ahead.
like his listen, yes. And when we come to education too, the almighty free education, which up to date NDC cannot understand how we are managing it. It's a phantom to them. It's something that they can actually not have grips of.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. So they keep on saying they'll review. And we've been asking this question, how they are going to review it, whether they are going to put it on hold. Students will go and sit in the house, and then they'll come out with their measures, or already they have it in their packet and they are refusing to tell Ghanaians how they'll make it. But I believe Ghanaians are smarter than them. We know what they are talking about, the review.
But this is some of the
Of
projects.
course, they don't believe in it. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in it. They spend the taxpayers' money, went around this country,
doing what?
telling people that it is not feasible. It is not going
free
to work.
education?
Yes. President John Dramani Mahama, he used the taxpayers' money, travel from region to region,
When did
district
he say
to
that?
district, everywhere.
When did he say
I said
that?
everywhere. There's no any particular. You see, the Dogombes have a proverb that he who dies in the market knows obituary. Because everybody in the village have already, is aware of his death. Because all of them converge at the market. So everybody is aware of his death.
Okay.
So who are you telling again? So this particular issue, I don't need to tell you where he said it. Everywhere. Ghanaians are aware of this.
It's a public knowledge.
Yes.
But
So-
what
so-
the argument
and-
is that
and-
some
and-
of the
and-
projects
and-
you've captured are not your projects. How would
Oh,
you
I'm
react
coming
to
that. I'm coming to which project? I'm coming to Pokwasi
Pokwasi
issue.
interchange,
Oh,
Temamoto
you see,
interchange,
I thought you would have dodged it. I thought you would have dodged it. Yesterday, I was on a program, on a sister program with one of the NDC communicators. They even gave them documents, and he gave it to the presenter to read the Pokwasi interchange things. And I was just sitting down, listening to
But
him.
Dr. Bamia admitted
Oh.
that that particular project.
He never admitted anywhere. My brother.
admitted.
Let me do myself. You see, you people normally trace the whole thing. Let me tell you a strategy you people are doing. You think I don't know?
All right.
It is under my nose they started the N1 here, this N1. And you know where I'm now going to. The N1 has a link to Banyard to Pokwasi. You people, I know where you people are coming from. Oh yes. You see, let me tell you. Pokwasi interchange. When he was reading that parliamentary Hansard, I'm coming. What that parliamentary Hansard, and he was saying that 2016.
So you wrap up on those.
Oh,
on
you
this
see,
one for me.
this is what you normally do. I didn't tell me. No. Yes, you don't allow me when he was making submission. No voice. But this one we say this is the strategy you always do here. You normally not allow me to do my submissions.
Kindly go ahead.
You see, Pokwasi interchange we are talking of.
Okay.
You people are mixing Banyard to Pokwasi road construction to the Pokwasi interchange.
And it includes.
Let
the
me come.
interchange.
Let me land. If I finish, you can ask me your question. Okay. But if you are interjecting me, you don't make me do my submissions very well. Banyard to Pokwasi is what MDC was doing. Even that one, they inherited it from President Kufuor. And up to now, as we speak, construction is still going on. You didn't finish. We came to finish it. Up to now, the construction is still going on. But Pokwasi interchange, what you people did was that.
Who are those people?
The NDC.
Okay.
What you people did was that you went in you gave the contract, and it was, the technical people, they can explain. But let me put in a local thing that myself and then the viewers can understand it very well. You know, the circle interchange is 3-story building locally. There's the first one, you know. You know, this thing itself is there. The one you are coming from La Paz, going to Accra. Yes, how are you getting me? The one you are from Ring Road, moving to, from Nima side, moving to Keneshi. That's the highest one. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And yesterday I was listening to the former road minister, my cousin, Honorable Sini, Yunus Sini. Yes, here. And he was trying to explain that the second one, the reason why the money was huge, he was trying to put it because we did all these 3 interchanges at the cost of 89, what do you call it, US dollars. 600 and yes, I think I've forgotten of the amount. Okay. I'll just remember. I think 689, and they did the second one 289 million US dollars.
Is it 260 or 280?
I'm coming 289. That is I was combining the 3 interchanges all together, and theirs just circle alone 260, and he was trying to justify that particular explanation by saying that the second one, when you check, it is 3 lanes, but unlike the Pokwasi one, it's 2 lanes. And I was sitting down. I said, so what kind of explanation is he giving?
But they said that the traffic road flyover is equally part of, that of the circle interchange that was constructed.
What?
And so you don't.
What?
The graphic road flyover. Have you seen that flyover over there?
Which graphic road?
You are saying that they have spent like 260 million US dollars on that project. And they are saying that it's not just about.
Let me come. No. Graphic road flyover. I'm even happy that you are saying graphic road flyover. I mean, what distance? Even let's say that they've combined, they've added to it. I mean, what distance does it cover? What distance? You are not bringing another subsidiary just to justify.
And he has a police station. He has the water fountain. He has offices and all those things.
Forget of all those things. I'll show you this one. So what they contain.
Okay, you tell me what they contain.
Yes. What do you call it? The second one, and he was trying to justify it with that it is 3 lane, and the only one that is 3 lane at the circle is the one from Nima going to Keneshi, the highest one. That's the only one that is 3 lane. The rest all are 2 lanes. The rest all are 2 lanes. When you are climbing, it's only one. The road is 3 lanes, but when you are climbing the interchange, it's 2 lane, and the rest. So that one is not even quite apart from that. Look at the Pokwasi one. They came. They want to do. You said 3 tiers. That means I don't want the 3 tiers and what. 3-story building. That they wanted to do it.
Okay.
That is one, another one, another one.
Okay. All right.
At the same cost. Are they getting me? And when we came, we had to review the whole contract.
Okay.
And then when we did, we realized that no, it's too much. We would rather prefer the same amount with 4 and not the 3. And finally, the contractor agreed to that. So value for money. Only God knows where that money would have gone to, and them if they had done it. Definitely, just like what they did at Circle. That is what they wanted to do at Pokwase. So let it come. So the contract was entirely cancelled, and a new one was done, and there was shortcutting by the president there for the commencement of this particular work. Go and check.
So are you saying that?
Yes. So we did not continue with the old contract. Let me tell you, we did not continue with the old contract. Quite apart from that, like they were alluding. In fact, when yesterday the guy was reading the Hansard, he was saying that as at 2016, that it was 98% complete. Even as we speak, what we are doing currently is not up to 98%. Even what we are doing now. And that is where their lies were exposed. Unfortunately for him, I am not somebody who took plane from Tamale to Accra here. I am also an Accra boy. And I know every corner in Accra.
Okay.
I use all the routes. I know all the corners. So that is just it. But what I'm trying to let you understand is that 260 million US dollar just circle interchange. And look at the distance between Labadi up to Tema.
Okay.
Labadi to Tema.
And he will finish right now.
Labadi, you see that what they do? Labadi to Tema with 2 interchanges.
Okay.
In addition, and that one costs around 79 million US dollars.
Okay.
Compared to Circle, just 1 interchange, no any road is added. 260. So you see, when we talk of infrastructure, there is nowhere, and we are saying that Nana is running away from John Dramani Mohammed's debate. one from the way it's even
Will you-
talking,
will
go
you
around
honor the
talking,
debate?
does he even have anything to present as somebody who's come to debate? Why should I not waste his time on this?
All right.
When there's a lot of things for him to do.
Okay, all right.
And,
Thank
we
you so
don't
much,
need this guy.
Sabo.
If there's any debate at all that he wants to, he should tell Ghanaians what he's capable of doing and be able to justify how when he comes, he will not repeat. Because he promised, and then went to Parliament
All
to
right.
promise that he will never promise again.
All right. Okay.
But he continue to promise. And up to date, as we speak, he's still promising. And now he has become a reviewer.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much for your submission. But I want to take this message briefly and then I go to Honorable for us to wrap up. This one says, good morning, Chairman. Which reasonable and responsible president would be cutting salt for projects during the end of his tenure, rather than commissioning projects to show his works and contribution to the development of the country? This is to say both NDC and MPP lack the vision to push the country forward. Michael from Ablekuma. Thank you so much, Michael, for your message. Honorable.
Justice. With my nose mask on, I can't talk. Maybe it's not audible, so
Very well.
me too.
Very well.
Yes.
Feel free.
Justice, first and foremost,
I should ask you that where in Ablekuma is the warehouse located?
Which one? I've told you some of the Ablekuma, which of the Ablekuma Kura, some is in Gacentra, some is in Amasama. So
So they want to know where they are
which one
located.
is he talking?
whichever
Whichever Ablekuma.
You should tell me which one is talking about.
It's not there.
Anyway, Honorable, yeah.
Are they into farming? Ablekuma, are they into farming?
You don't know
It's
that.
like pregnancy.
Yes, sir.
The older it grows, the more exposed it becomes.
That's true.
See, the higher the monkey climbs, the more exposed the buttocks. These people today, they have been exposed so badly, Ghanaians have come to know them to be congenital liars. Look, Justice, let me first and foremost just dismiss some of the things my brother Sabo sought to paint in the agricultural sector. It's a disaster under the incompetent agriculture. The things that have happened to this, the monies the state has sunk
Okay.
in this planting for food sector, they made a disaster of the whole thing. How can a successful program that has succeeded in boosting cereal cultivation result in massive importation of food? Justice, go and Google www agric US agriculture, and you see the imports Ghana made of maize alone. Justice, in when they were touting the thing in 2017,
Yeah.
we imported maize to the tune of 19,000.
Very well.
19,000 metric tons of maize from the US alone. Justice, in 2018, we imported 30,000 metric tons of maize from the US. Okay? In 2018. In 2019, we imported 50,000 tons of maize from the US alone. And you are here touting this is that the DC has been a success with this massive import. That's even from this one. We even were so shameful. We exhibited some degree of shamefulness to the point that we went and credited maize and cereals from ECOWAS backup stock, even with contributing countries like Burkina Faso.
Okay.
Burkina Faso and Co, we are owing them cereals. An arid area like Burkina Faso. At the time we are launching even planting for food and jobs, we are going to credit maize. We are going to credit sorghum. We went and credited rice. All this is from Burkina Faso. Up to now, we have not even paid. They have made our country a country of infamy through such shameful acts. And then you are here touting the success of this program when you are crediting even food. Justice. Justice, after the free HHS, let me say without any iota of doubt that under President Mahama in 2015, he started with the payment of all day students. Nobody paid a single fee. The government absorbed the fees of day students. And in 2016, over 10,000 boarding students had their fees absorbed by government.
Very well.
Okay? As a preparatory step of the NDC's progressive, when the students come to the school, we are going to let them sit under trees.
But
You are going to dig holes and put them.
But they've done expansion works in the senior high schools. Over 1,000 something.
So why
expansion
are we still
works
having
have
double
been
tax? Why are we having double? What is the what has occasioned double tax? Is it not because of the poor state of infrastructure? So if you have done the infrastructure, why are we still having double tax? You see, when you lie, you'll be exposed by the infrastructure.
Okay.
Your infrastructure deficit, if you lie about adequacy of your infrastructure deficit, will expose you. Okay? Look, just as bad for President Mahama's accelerated infrastructure that he did, the e-blocks, the secondary school improvement project that he did with infrastructure. Just as we would have been operating a quadruple track system, not double track, not even tertiary track. We would have been operating quadruple track. Today they are going to school for 3 weeks and going to sit in the house for 4 months. They would have gone for 1 week and sit for 6 months.
But in fact, they said the e-blocks.
But for President Mahama.
But they said they finished about 27 of the e-blocks.
I'm saying that, look, just if you want, just take your camera, if the schools reopen, and go to Kwabenya, and wait when they close, and you see the number of students coming, you'll be amazed. It's like the whole of Accra is coming out. Large numbers. Then you ask yourself, if President Mahama hadn't put up that building, where will all those children be?
Very well.
So you just see the wisdom. So you see who is thinking and who is acting. If somebody tells you that somebody is thinking before he acts, and somebody says somebody is acting before he thinks, you can see the difference between the two of them.
Okay.
So between President Mahama and Nana Akufo-Addo, it's like between the earth and the sky. He doesn't come anywhere near President Mahama in terms of cognitive and practical implementation of natural intelligence, common sense. He doesn't come near. Okay? Now, Justice, let me say something about this topic that we are talking about. I'm a Muslim, and today is Friday.
Okay.
It's a sacred day, and I believe politics, we go into politics to serve humanity.
Very well.
And in serving humanity, you are serving God.
Yeah.
So anybody who thinks that God's matter is not in Allah Almighty's name is not in politics, you must revise your nose. Those of us who are leaders, and especially those who have been given the position of national leadership, tomorrow they will stand before their maker and account.
Very well.
Justice, let them be aware that they can take all the monies in this world. They can steal all the monies in this world. Tomorrow, when they are going, they will go along without a person following them. And they are going to stand before their maker and account for everything they said and did here. And so, my brother, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who anytime the MPP has some dirty job to do, some filthy propaganda that they want to do, is the one they pushed. Then I was referring to some time ago, he did it so much that his wife even had to profess some advice that, look, your image and integrity is at stake. Claw back. He said it, that his wife advised him that he should stop some of those other things. Because he has suffered a huge credibility deficit.
Again, where did he say that?
Okay?
Where did he say that?
So, you see, Justice, it's important for him to know that as a Muslim, he will stand before his maker and account tomorrow that the things he looked at Ghanaians in the face and told them, sometimes knowing very well they were lies, but for the sake of politics, he will leave it and go and come and account.
On this topic, what did he say?
So I'm coming. Justice, I'm shaving you, don't be in a hurry to touch your head.
All right.
So I'm just preferring this advice. So you should desist from the further dirty propaganda and lies that he's telling. Justice, he went, he looked Ghanaians in the face and came and said that the circle interchange was consulted for $260 million. That is a blatant falsehood. Justice, I was in Parliament, and as a member of Parliament, you can peruse the documents, the Hansard and others. Justice, when the chairman of the committee was presenting the report, he presented 2 separate projects.
Okay.
One for the circle interchange and the other for the ringway project.
Yeah.
Okay. The circle interchange was 74.8 million euros.
Second interchange, you said they were on 2 phases. Second
I am just indicating to you.
The first one was the 74.
Samuel, let me make my point.
So kindly allow him
I said,
to make the
So
submission.
this one, they kindly allow you.
Yeah, I said,
You come in here, you
I
understand
said
that
they
you
were
can-
two projects.
I've asked them to allow you.
see?
I've asked them
You
to
see?
allow you to.
When I was talking, you said that you
This
wanted
is
to.
even the first time I'm even
No.
speaking.
Sabu,
But look at it.
Sabu, after he had the battle, he told me that we allow you to speak. I stopped.
Yeah, I've stopped.
So you should also stop. When I stop, you should also stop.
I've stopped.
Sabo.
There are 2 separate distinct projects.
Okay.
The circle interchange and the ringway project. They were separate projects. And when they were presented in Parliament, they were presented as such. Separate projects. I told you that this one was about 74.8 million euros. And the other one, I think, about $170 million. Okay? So where did Dr. Bawumia get the figures that he was peddling? Okay. You see, and see, Justice, this is not the first time he's peddled false figures. Okay. Plenty. We can't even count. We've lost count. From his infamous Voltairean 760 people, Togolese, who came to register that he has got. So in those days of blatant lies he was telling. To this particular one, a vice president of the republic, when you open your mouth to speak, your speech must be edifying. It must be factual. It should be truthful. Yeah. But to know that knowingly tell lies is terrible. Justice, he counted among others. Justice, there's a project in Pusu. There's a place called Pusu Namango. Okay. It's in the Talansi. Pusu Namango. All right. Oh, after the north, me and you will come from there, so we know how to.
All right, we should be wrapping up. So,
I'm very careful.
All right. So otherwise somebody may.
No, I said Pusu. So the soup comes out very well.
All right. So, we should be wrapping up. Let's.
He started this project, 120 unit affordable housing project. Okay. When he was listing the list of projects, and just I can give you the video. Okay. Of the place, virgin land. In fact, antelopes and rabbits are having jamboree there right now as we speak. Virgin land. Somebody told me that one. I can. Today is Friday. I won't lie. Okay. That one I didn't see it. Okay. But somebody even said that an elephant even appeared. That even an elephant even appeared there. All right. Okay. Just he said that project is 20% complete. One shovel has not even been used.
Maybe they've acquired the land.
President Appiah last year that he went to Capstone for the project. This government, yeah, they say he has gone to where Cape Coast or Tapradi to Capstone. He's just getting propaganda. There's nothing. Tell them they won't put inside that place. Okay. It's something happening. So I'm just telling you, look, this is Dr. Bawumia. Peddling another blatant falsehood. So you see, when you continue peddling falsehood like this at the level. And the president has repeated some of these things. Okay. So the credibility of the presidency today is in tatters. International community, they have lost a lot of respect for us. Okay. As a result of these deficiencies at the level of our presidency. So justice is terrible. Terrible. Now, justice, compare these things to the depth of infrastructure president, the level of infrastructure president Mahama is today. Justice, there is no region in this country under President Mahama that those who didn't have hospitals, who have not had hospitals. In the 4 years of President Mahama, just if we sit in this level, I cannot count the hospitals that he has built. Okay. In districts across this country. Justice, airports. Regions that did not have airport. Upper West region, why? Justice, President Mahama built airports. Okay. And the showpiece in which Ghana has taken the limelight in Africa, not even in West Africa. The Terminal 3, which Nana Akufo-Addo is in a hurry to go and sell. He put his daughter in one of the shops in Terminal 3. Okay. And now he's in a hurry to sell Terminal 3. The workers are up in arms. Okay? Terminal 3 is the showpiece in Africa. Okay. Okay? That is President Mahama. That is what we call infrastructure. Justice. I've mentioned that. Look at the e-blocks and the infrastructure President Mahama put in the secondary school system. Okay. That is why President Mahama has indicated that when he comes, and Sabo was trying to play some mischievous politics with it on the SSS. President Mahama has made it very clear, and you know he used the word bloody liar, that anybody who says he's coming to abolish the free trade system, which he started. He's not. He's a liar.
Where did he start the free system?
I indicated to you that first he had
I'm informed.
I would do.
No, I'm not. Justice, I've just started.
My time is fast spent. I'm informed to wrap up.
Sabo spoke for more than 35 minutes.
That is true, but the time is up.
Justice, you are not fair to me.
All right, the time is up.
In fact, in natural sense, I spoke about just 10 minutes. You took the others.
When
all of you about the interjections.
I would do shark says that.
Okay, we need to wrap up. I'll plead for 5 minutes for you so that
how the shark says that when he witnesses.
If you go sector by sector, and that is why President Mahama, Nana Akufo-Addo is running away. He's fleeing with his tail between his legs. Because he cannot stop President Mahama in a debate. He can't. Because look, for 4 years, the NPP cannot show you one hospital. And I'm challenging you to here. Some show you one hospital you have built in 4 years.
Okay. Well, I can show you so many.
One.
Go and do a tracker. We've given you
Let's
check on the tracker. Go and check on the tracker.
Classroom block. He promised 350.
Check the tracker.
Alaji, for your information, the former director general of GBC lost his first son. I mean, Major General Don Chebe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the funeral is taking place today. So
where?
It's taking place in Tapo, in the Upper West region.
Oh, okay.
So tomorrow we'll all be there. I entreat you to be there. He's your friend and your brother.
My very good friend. Allah will see what we get.
Okay, Honorable.
You see, justice in every sector of this economy. This government has been bereft of achievement.
Okay.
They cannot show you the infrastructure they have done in 4 good years. Like I just said, which schools they have been. He promised 350 brand new secondary schools from the sky. Single one, Bengue. Ekomi Dakakuno, one, he has not done.
Okay.
Zaine, okay. I'm just indicating to you.
Okay.
Look, the government declared a year of roads.
Yeah.
Just let me say here without any contact. I have a lot of respect for the Minister for Roads. Honorable Amakwata, Kusha Amakwata. It's a very hard-working minister.
Okay.
I won't take that one away from him. But his government is bereft and visionless and clueless and greedy. Above all, very, very greedy.
All right.
This government has taken money from the road fund, which is supposed to be a vehicle for the prosecution of roads in the country. This government alone has taken 3.2 billion away from the road fund.
Okay, Honorable.
And denied the roads ministry of money to construct roads.
This is to Sabo.
Okay? And I'm just indicating to you, Justice, this is the government that has had the highest quantum of resources in the history of our country.
Okay.
Borrowed.
They have had more than 300 billion Ghana cedis.
Borrowed.
I'll take away the borrowing. Borrowing, Benamona there we did that. This is a government which went and touted this and that. The mama was borrowing to do infrastructure, which you don't even eat anyway. Today they want us to eat infrastructure. But President Mama borrowed, and we can see the tangible effects of his borrowing. This government has been the most reckless borrowing government in the history of our country.
All right,
Justice.
Honorable.
Today, President Mama left 120 million from independence, 120 billion at the time he was leaving office. Today, the debt is going towards 300 billion.
Okay.
Okay? And then just look around. What can you see? They have chopped the money, nyafu. They have not been able to let it be visible like President Mama does. Because someone himself admitted here that Obiche Bilamte, Kaswa, Pokwasi interchange, and the funding was already secured, and that they only changed. The contractor changed the decision. That's what you said here.
I didn't say the funding.
I
said the contract.
Right.
You signed.
Okay.
No.
I
Don't put well. I told that
the money was already there. Otherwise, how do you
You
as well as Tema, motorway.
It's your time.
Very well. I mean, we need to end.
So, this is practical evidence.
All right.
So when you see Nana Akufo-Addo running away from debate, he cannot. You would have been the most humiliating thing for him.
Okay.
President Mahama will wallop him so badly in the debate that, my brother, the Ghanaians from that very day, you know that his tenure has ended.
All right.
So that's why he's running away from the debate. He has nothing to say.
Okay.
He can't face President Mahama.
All right.
If he says he's a man, I am telling him. If Nana Akufo-Addo says he's a man, and that he's a person of his stature who can stand on his feet and defend himself, I beg him to come and face President Mahama in the infrastructure debate.
All right, thank you so much.
I will do rice and I share the opinion.
When you see a chief warrior fleeing the battlefield, his recruits have been massacred.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I will do say,
Let me read your message.
I'm reading this message. I would do say that when I witnessed for myself the deplorable state of the 8-kilometer Wa Jonga road in the Wa municipality, I cannot be bothered by the debate on interchanges.
All right, that's fine.
And I agree.
And there's a message here. There's a message here.
If you come from Keleo to Chang and you see the nature of the road, you will not be bothered about humongous estates.
All right.
That's nothing.
That's well noted. This one says, good morning. This is GH Malema from Wa. Mona